Okay. You know, I accept this hunt. They don't tell me what I'm looking for, and they think that I can just completely come out here and deal with why is this rock moving? I don't want to die! Here I am, rock you like
I'm on tonight, you know my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right, all the attraction.
Look, Basarios has a lot of sides to him that you might not know about. Welcome, fellow hunters, as today we talk the Rocky TITANS and their huge, bulging bag of tricks. Beginning with the baby! Well, Basarios, he is a flying wyvern, though he is way too chunky to be doing that for the most part. His wings are weak and useless, but he could get a little bit of lift every now and then. But he likes to spend most of his days hiding like the coward he is, being totally inconspicuous at all times.
Ding dong, where is it you've gone to? Do you think you won our game of hide and seek has just begun?
So his let's just say lackluster camouflage. Well, okay, look, in his credit, it works mostly against other monsters that don't really think to, well, take a bite out of what appears to be solid rock, lest they have lost all value in their teeth. But for a hunter's gaze, it's quite comically bad. But Basarios has a lot going for him. He has a lot of strength and weight to throw around, especially for his size, can veritably bulldoze through weaker, fleshy targets. But the main pièce de résistance is that someone decided, well, we need to make sure that the baby Basarios becomes a Gravios. So what if he needs, like, a defense to do that? Well, he can hide. Yeah, I know he can hide, but what if he's found? Well, we'll give him poison gas. Okay, I like that. That's quite. But like, what if he faces something resistant to poison? Okay, it seems like not likely, but I guess we'll give him fire like explosion gas and like a laser beam that he can ignite with a concentrated flame organ deep in his belly that projects out at pinpoint accuracy for a short burst of intense heat that can melt rock. That's pretty good. That should ward a lot of people. But, you know, I'm still worried about him a little bit. Okay, I guess we'll give him the ability to superheat the ore that he eats to absorb nutrients to go his development into Gravios and launch it like apocalyptic meteors that rain down. I'm not finished with you! In explosive fury, melting armor and flesh as if it was not. That's good. You still want more, don't you? Well, I'm just saying, what if they're fire resistant, poison resistant, and have really good eyesight and also can be immune to laser beams? Okay, we'll give him sleep gas. Does sleep gas do it? We'll pack a fucking sleep organ into him and he can put that bastard to sleep. You know, I think I like this. I think I'm okay. All right, I'll lock that in. Okay, that seems pretty good. Okay! Glad we're done! Next! Hi, I've come for my abilities. You get nothing but fire, motherfucker! Oh, okay. Just like, why does he have all of the things? He is a beautiful little so-and-so. His hide, then, very much is akin to rock. Not in the literal sense, but in its makeup is nearly identical, and as such is incredibly resistant to any form of piercing attack. Because again, we're not done on what this guy can do to survive, and he uses this to essentially shrug off smaller monsters that would try and bring him down. A pack of prey can spend all day and make no headway attempting to slay this baby. Oh shit. He then likes to spend his time in warmer climes, not the superheated inferno central to a volcano. He needs his adult form for that, but closer. The warm swamps are a good fit. He is incredibly resistant to heat. The insulation here is real. He likes to charge, much like a Diablos, but he has his own little flair known as falling over and rolling, attempting to crush would-be aggressors into a fine blood-red paste with his immense bulk. His entire objective then is to stay out of trouble, to feed and slowly gain the strength to grow into a Gravios. He, as he ages, slowly sheds his unwieldy bulk into a much deadlier and streamlined shell, and it only gets denser and harder to break. He will grow to mammoth sizes. Now, he does eat meat too whenever he can find a free meal, and indeed a lot of his diet does contribute to the fuel that powers his poison and sleep organs. In fact, the reason that Gravios does lose the ability to poison is the regions they dwell do not contain enough prey with enough concentration to allow him to use it, the organ shriveling up and becoming functionally, well, it's like the Gravios appendix. They are reasonably calm creatures, easily startled, and tend to flee over fight. They really do just want to survive in any of the myriad of ways that they can. Eventually then, though, it comes time to grow up, and we have ourselves Gravios, then. Well, he is just absolutely monstrous in power, only really having to fear the very upper echelons of rivals for his territory, and he is indeed fiercely territorial. He will crush, burn, and obliterate any who dare challenge him, unless they happen to be in a cantor.
Or
an elder dragon, but below that, he is gonna give one hell of a fight. Now mature and in command of abilities it started to show as a child, his heat beam is just disintegration. It will wash over targets, burning and ripping away their very shell, bubbling the flesh and blood underneath and punching holes through larger targets, sizzling with the smell of roasted meat. For he will then casually chow down. It is by far his single most deadly ability. But his finesse is greater than that, for he can concentrate it and fire it in laser-like pulse designed to more specifically target weak spots of an enemy. He comes across as a dumb brute, but there is some thinking behind him. Even heavier now, this is the Armor Wyvern, an indomitable shell that repels most nearly any attack, as if you're trying to hunt him with a piece of plastic. It is one of the most impervious shells in all Monster Hunter, almost enough to make a Brachydios blush. He is very much a living tank. He can also expel a potent knockout gas, capable of bringing down all but the largest of monsters. Refined and concentrated from his years as a Basarios. He will also use his very plentiful weight to charge, barrel, crush, stomp occasionally, even going to the effort of flying moderately high into the air to come spiraling down as he absolutely quakes and cracks the very earth beneath, as well as force whatever poor soul was beneath him to combine with it. This is not something anyone should ever have to experience. Though his one weakness, or at least his most prominent one, is his rocky hide is arranged in a plate-like manner, which means with enough prying in just the right places, it can be chipped and forced away, ripping free and leaving him very vulnerable, the soft underside revealed, and, well, prime stabbing real estate. But these gaps are necessary, as it is what lets him vent the excess heat his fiery onslaught produces, doubling up as an explosive defense. Without this, he would quite literally cook himself from the inside, as the temperatures he produces, well, they make the lava that he calls his home look like a tepid bath. In fact, he can quite happily wade, swim, and rest in magma for as long as he pleases, using it to swim and burrow between parts of his territory. His tail is a spiked club of immense strength, able to punch holes deep into opposition armor. He is not afraid to use it to its maximum merciless efficiency. Even its organs are all tightly packed, dense in the center of its body, to provide maximum distance twixt the heat of its preferred home and them. He is built from the ground up to be a super weapon, and he really is not afraid to prove it. The tail not just a mace, it also helps balance him, for I really can't exaggerate this enough, he is weighty. It's not an over-exaggeration that he is amongst the upper echelons in both size and raw power of all the flying wyverns. He's also a fan of chowing down on volcanic rock and ore, which, combined with his furnace inside, helps give his inferno arsenal that little extra oomph. Though that really is all you need to know about the juvenile and the adult. They are very simple on the surface creatures, but both hiding something fascinating within. Though there are a few extra flavors we should totally be aware of. To go back to Basarios for a moment, we have the Ruby Basarios. Beautiful, its crystalline formations crimson and glimmering as it lines its back, found exclusively in the Everwood, where these minerals are found, and indeed it loves to have a snack on them, and they contain a power that changes the very biology of the Basarios in the zone. I couldn't decide whether to say area or zone, so I just went with zone. Like somebody just started fucking tickling. Okay. They are, well, not massively different from their usual brethren, but they are very much capable of using their spiky self to add a little extra threat. They will shake the crystals off of their body for a rain of very deadly projectiles all around. They're also much tougher nuts to crack, as it were. Though that said, nobody has seen a Gravios that was once a crystal Basarios. What they might look like, how they might function, well, that is an enigma and mystery for the guild. One can imagine they are a sight to behold. Then we have the Black Gravios. He is just fearsome. A dark ebony shell, the black armor wyvern. He looks like some demon spewed out of hell, for being too violent, aggressive, larger, more formidable in every respect, beams more intense, and an onslaught that is nigh unstoppable. It is bad news to find a Black Gravios, and well, it'll let you know about it if you do. Little red spines line their body as well, just for that pièce de résistance dipped in the blood of your enemy's luck, just in case the initial darkness wasn't enough to give out the general stay away warnings. The Black Gravios can almost survive an encounter with an Acantor. That's how much tougher it actually gets. These Gravios then end up this way because while young as Basarios, they were too brave, too bold, strayed too close to what would be in the future their volcanic home, and, well, quite literally were burnt. Their parent Gravios, none the moved for this horrific occurrence. Essentially, they're kind of if Zuko grew up evil. They have a grudge, everlasting, and they mean to take it out on everything that moves. So, there you have it, guys. That's your Rocky duo, and I do have a soft spot for them. Back in the day, when I played original Monster Hunter, I really hated Gravios. He was a tough bastard, both difficulty and literally, and I just was exhausted fighting him. The first time I killed him, it was more relief than anything. He wasn't the hardest wall in the world, other than literally, and he just kinda wore thin. But recently I have reappreciated him, and I kinda can totally get behind what makes him just so impressive. And I've kind of developed a soft spot for him, especially Basarios. That's just a flaily, silly everything. Seeing Cotton's view on him, Cotton Basarios clip, kind of gave me a whole new world of looking at it, and one that I undeniably just adore now. Putting them into world, well, now we can actually talk about the context of Iceborne, and it's definitely possible. They are incredibly insulated monsters, and you could try and get away with a more frozen appearance, even if we just go, well, there's one in the Elder's Recess now. It would suck to not justify it, but it's better than just not getting it. So flying wyverns with the skeletons in place, and it would add something really meaty for everyone to fight. A real just bruiser that dwarfs even that of the Diablos. And seeing the pair of them and having a more expanded, maybe study as you go through the story of the development of the species from Basarios to Gravios, that'd be really neat to see. Hell, even seeing a Basarios with a Gravios and interact meaningfully. Would they have a Bond-esque attack, or would he be protective over the young? I think there's a lot to play with here, especially ecology-wise. You could tune up their fight, give them a little bit of spice, and I think you'd have some really neat additions on your hand. I would like to see them. They're not near the top of the list, but I think they form a great backbone for a monster roster. Let me know what you guys think, of course, but for now, my name has been Josh. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Let me know what you'd like to lore next time. I'm kind of feeling like it might be time for the King of the Skies, but we'll see. A goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.